The little child removed his thumb and looked directly at Jamie. "Yeeth at me. What do you think of my new ride?" Rob Leahy giggled and kicked his legs in the air at the comment. Michelle reached down, unclipped the safety belt and lifted her husband out of the stroller, placing him on the floor. The professor stood unsteadily for a moment before he walked awkwardly towards Jamie. After 10 steps, the professor wobbled and fell backwards onto his cushioned butt. The professor got to his knees and made the rest of the way over, crawling like a child just learning to walk. It was obvious the physical age of 10 months had an overwhelming impact on the professor's balance and ability to walk. It couldn't be any easier, with a thick diaper widening his stance, making him waddle more than walk normally. Jamie knew this from first-hand experience, as his diaper constantly reminded him. It was getting almost too much for Jamie. The past week had been overwhelming, and more than once he had broke down crying. Especially with his new regressed emotions, it was hard not to feel beleaguered by the events. First he was regressed, then without any consultation he was treated more and more like someone his physical age. He was only starting to get used to his situation and the routine of feedings and naps developed for him by his wife, and now his mentor was younger than him. As Rob crept towards him, Jamie stepped back in shock, not sure how to react. However, his balance was also poor and he fell on his bottom, sitting there mouth wide open as a little stream of drool began to trickle down his chin. Rob made his way over to Jamie and sat down beside him. Both babies had their legs spread apart and their diapers were clearly bulging under their pants. Jamie was speechless as he looked at his boss. The drool was now dripping onto his shirt. "At least I'm bigger than you." Jamie struggled with any response while struggling with the sight of his new boss. Jamie then noticed a growing wet spot on the crotch of Rob's coveralls. It was obvious that the professor was having an accident right in front of him, but what surprised Jamie most was that it went unnoticed, even as the pee leaked around the diaper and onto his clothes. "Ah, Professor, your dear pee is leaking." With that, Leahy rolled his eyes and looked down at the growing stain. "Mama bought these cheap diapers yesterday, and this is the second time today I've made a mess." Jamie was a little surprised that Leahy just sat there not attempting to get help with his diaper change. Then upon reflection, Jamie had also slipped into the same passive mode the other day. It almost made sense. "Please call me Rob. Professor seems too formal at this age." "Any problems since you ended up as a baby?" Jamie inquired. Rob smiled shyly. "Yeeth, this morning I finally got over a bad case of diaper wash. I woke up yesterday morning and it must have been there all night. It really hurt all day yesterday." Jamie nodded. "I know what you mean. When that stuff wants to come out, there is no way of stopping it from going everywhere inside your pants." "Have you tried cloth diapers yet?" Rob inquired back. "Nah, haven't had the chance yet. But they have to be better than these paper-lined disposables." Jamie giggled. "You know, instead of talking about football or something else, we're discussing diaper fashions." With that comment, both infants broke out into uncontrollable laughter. Finally, Jamie had someone to relate with, someone to confide in. For the first time, Jamie was getting comfortable with his new life. For the moment, his fears were washed away. It no longer bothered him that he was wrapped in a diaper and stripped of his former status as an adult. It almost seemed normal to be dressed in babyish clothes and only 30 inches tall. "You called your wife Mama?" "Mine made me change her name too, but it does roll off the tongue pretty naturally."